morning, everybody. This is Raghvendra Srirampur. I am the co-founder and chief academic officer of Learn Square Technologies, which is presenting the MySkillForge program. Now, the major objective of this MySkillForge program stems from a very simple fact. The fact being, the various newspaper articles or news clips which state that majority of the Indian graduates, though they have finished their graduation, are basically unemployable. We try to identify this gap between graduation and employability and are trying to fill that gap up. So in order to do that, we have come up with a program called as MySkillForge. Is basically an online program which addresses the skill gap between employability and graduation. I'll just take you through the entire course structure of MySkillForge, and then we will look at any questions that are required. What does this program focus on? This program focuses on technical proficiency, analytical and problem-solving skills, effective communication, and adaptability and innovation. These are the 4 areas which the program tries to focus upon. Now, out of these four things, the 2 things which we try to focus on, 3 things that we try to focus on very much in the first 2 phases. Basically, this is a 3-phase program. The first 2 phases being basically learning various skills, and the third stage being an internship where you will be able to coordinate with a larger group so that you get skills which are required to work in a corporate atmosphere. Now, what does each of these phases look like? What are we trying to achieve? One of the first things that I come to hear as a teacher whenever I talk to computer science and engineering, computer science students, or any technical student for that matter, is that, sir, I have learned Java, I have learned Python, I have learned C++, but unfortunately, I'm not able to code in that particular area. I'm not in a position to write effective code. I hope this is a common concern throughout the entire student community. This is one of the major concerns that we have. The concern being, we know a particular programming language, but unfortunately, when it comes to writing code in that particular area, we generally tend to fail. That is the first thing we try to address in this program. That is how to code effectively, how to develop that logic of programming. That is the first, in the phase 1, that is the first course you will be going through, that is techniques of improving programming logic. This is a live online course which runs for 5 days. Most of our courses which are live generally run on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, that too evening, so that everybody will be able to attend these courses very properly. This is a boot camp kind of a course where a faculty from the industry will basically come and try to teach you how to develop this programming logic. Now, this course is of 10-hour duration. It does not basically have any particular programming language into consideration, though we tend to follow C programming in this. But the objective of this course is basically to teach or to make students appreciate how programming language is to be built. Programming logic has to be built. The second component of this course is business communication. Major areas where we tend to fail. For example, whenever we are trying to apply for a job, we need to write emails, we need to prepare resumes, and once the resume is accepted, we need to give interviews also. The business communication course, which is the second course, which is a recorded course, is going to basically address these concerns, the concerns of business communication or how to communicate effectively. So if you see, it is not entirely a technical course, it is a combination of technical as well as non-technical courses whose objective is basically to address employability skills. What do we do in business communication? In business communication, we talk of what is the importance of business communication, what is effective communication. Communication does not necessarily mean just writing and speaking. There are a lot of aspects of communication, like non-verbal communication, which has got nothing to do with speaking or writing. It has got entirely to do with my body language. So all the aspects of communication, whether it is verbal communication, whether it is non-verbal communication, whether it is written communication, or whether it is your body language, your gestures, your physical appearance, everything will be taken care of in these 8 hours. We also have what is called as we also have how to prepare an effective resume, how to prepare for interviews, what are the types of questions asked in the interviews, what should I say when somebody asks me a question like tell me about yourself. All these aspects will be covered in this 8-hour course. Now, after business communication, we have what is called as Java programming. This is a 24-hour recorded course which basically whose objective is basically to introduce the concept of Java programming to students. Now, why did we introduce Java programming, sir? Why not Python, sir? A lot of you might have questions, sir. Why not Python programming, sir? Why only Java programming, sir? I'm not a computer science student, sir. I'm more interested in Java, sir. Please understand one thing here, that majority of the companies which come for interview, basically technical companies, they look at your programming skill. They are not bothered whether you are a Java programmer or a Python programmer. And majority of them, since they are old timers, they tend to focus on Java programming. That is the reason why we have introduced Java programming. This is a 24-hour course. As you see, it's a recorded course whose objective is to focus on your programming skills in Java. Then comes the next aspect. If you see, again, we are going towards a non-technical aspect of skill development, that is technical writing. What do I mean by technical writing? If you look at business communication, it has got everything to do with communication. But technical writing is a different aspect altogether. What do we have in technical writing? As a student, we do a lot of writing, whether we write our technical journals, our lab reports. When we are in our final year, we will be writing our project report. When we are throughout the journey in the 4 years of engineering, we will be talking about presenting papers. And for presenting papers, we will be writing a paper, and along with that, we will also be presenting a paper in the form of a presentation. All these writing skills, whether it is a project report, whether it is a project technical presentation, whether it is a technical paper, this requires a certain kind of writing. If we observe, majority of the times whenever we write something, we tend to mess up with grammar. For example, you take the example of a project report. We tend to, majority of the times we tend to write I am doing, the process that is being followed is kind of a statement. It is in the present tense. Project report is a report of a project which has already been completed. So since the project has already been completed, what do? We should be writing the project report in a past tense, not in the present tense. These are the small things that we tend to mess up whenever we do technical writing. How to create effective presentations, what kind of grammar should I be addressing? Though we are not going to teach you English grammar as such, with very simple examples, the entire technical writing course will take you through what is the kind of language that you have to use, how should you be writing, how should you be effectively presenting technical content. This is what we will be focusing on. This will be the fourth aspect or the fourth course in phase 1 program. If you see, it is an 8-hour recorded course. Some of the courses in SkillForge, MySkillForge are recorded, whereas some of these courses in MySkillForge are live. The reason why we kept recorded course, some of the courses as recorded, is very simple. There will be some of us who want to do it and learn things anytime we want and anywhere we want. So all those courses which you want to, which we want to do anytime, anywhere, will be recorded. Whereas all the courses which require a technical faculty to be actively interacting with you will be live courses. Then finally, the last part of phase 1 is using GitHub as a code repository. Now, in olden days, when I used to do my engineering, whenever we used to do projects, the only way we could tell the interviewer that we have done a project is maybe write a short description of the project in the resume and maybe carry my project report along. That's an old way of doing things. The latest way of doing things is carrying your entire project with you in the form of a bank account which does not have money, a bank account which has code in it, all the projects that I have done. So the last course, which is a 3-day course, which is for 6 hours, is using GitHub as a code repository. This this course called GitHub as a code repository, the objective is not just to introduce GitHub as a code repository, but also allow you to learn how GitHub could be used to collaborate across projects. If you remember, I told you there are 3-4 objectives of our program. What is the first objective? Technical proficiency, analytical problem solving skills, effective communication, and look at the last one, adaptability and innovation. The reason why we have GitHub is you need to you need to know innovative ways to present yourself to an employer. So if you have done, let us say, 4 or 5 projects during your course of engineering, the entire 4 years, 3 or 4 projects in the entire 4 years of engineering, you should be able to show the interviewer how effectively you have coded and how effectively your project has been done. The only way you can do it is you should be able to actually show your project, and this is what exactly GitHub does for you. It creates an online presence for all your projects so that you can effectively show it to your recruiters. This is the phase 1 of the program. The phase 1 of the program is going to look at basically basic programming skills and basic communication skills is what we are looking at. Which communication in this case, I would rather say, includes both speaking, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Now, this would be the first phase of our program. Now, coming to the second part, as I was telling you earlier, this is a 3-phase program. What is the second phase? If you look at the first phase clearly, in the first phase, we have introduced one technical component, that is Java programming. Java programming is usually done as a back-end course. Now, the second phase will not only focus on other skills, it will also focus on what is called as the front-end programming aspect. What is the front-end programming aspect that we are looking at? The front-end programming aspect that we are looking at is, so the fourth aspect of phase 2. In the fourth course of phase 2, you see using React with Bootstrap. If Java is going to be your backend, your React is going to be your front end. So you're basically learning, going through basically a backend as well as a front end in this case. And one of the major areas in which questions are asked in big companies is data structures and algorithms. So we have a 5-day live online bootcamp on DSA through Java. Again, sir, why Java? The reason is very, very simple. I was reading quite a lot of emails and messages that have come. People have asked us that, sir, why Java? I am a data science student. I want Python. Please understand one thing very clearly. A basic computer science student is expected to know Java, and majority of the questions that are asked in interviews, quite a few questions asked in interviews, are basically from Java. That is the reason why we are talking of Java here. So the first course in the phase 2 is going to be DSA through Java. It is going to be a boot camp, which is going to be live online for 5 days. It will take you through the various aspects of data structures, like how to apply common algorithms, explore trees and graph structures, solve practical problems. It is going to introduce you to the concept of 1 minute. Yeah. Arrays, strings, linked lists, stacks, queues, trees, graphs, sorting algorithms, and searching algorithms. I will not say that this 10 hours of course is going to be sufficient. But I would definitely say that this will give you a basic understanding, basic to intermediate understanding of data structures, so that you can prepare well for the future. Now, other than this, what are we talking about? Other than this, we are talking about a very, very important aspect of uh, uh, employability. That is the two skills that are very, very essential for an engineer. One is problem solving, and the second is critical thinking skills. And one of the best methods of developing either problem solving or critical thinking skills is to learn your mathematical aptitude and logical reasoning very, very well. So we take you through 12 hours of mathematical aptitude, which will cover various aspects of mathematical aptitude, and 12 hours of logical reasoning, which will cover various aspects of logical reasoning. Again, please understand one thing very clearly, that these courses are important with respect to your employability quotient. We know what is IQ, intelligence quotient. What we require now is EQ, that is employability quotient. In order to improve our employability quotient, right from phase one, where we started speaking of how to develop programming logic, how to improve our business communication, how to improve our technical writing, we also need to improve our critical thinking and critical thinking and problem solving skills. And these critical thinking and problem solving skills are basically taken through your mathematical aptitude and logical reasoning. Now, there is one question I would like to address here, and that question is very simple. Sir, are these the only two areas where we improve our critical thinking and logical reasoning skills? No. Right from the first course, how to develop your programming logic, developing your programming logic, that also improves your critical thinking and problem solving skills. Programming in Java, that also improves your critical thinking and problem solving skills. Technical writing, how to write, how not to write, what to write and what not to write, how to present and how not to present. All these things would basically contribute to the improvement of your critical thinking and problem solving skills. And coming to the next stage, that is using React with Bootstrap. That is the fourth course in phase two. The fourth course in phase two basically tries to address a continuum of phase one. What was the technical language that we learned in phase one? Can anybody tell me? Java as a programming language, which I told you is generally used as a back-end programming language in order to build the logic of the program. Now, the most important fact is going to be how to create that UI UX, user interface and user experience. And that part we tend to introduce it through using React and using React with Bootstrap, which is a live bootcamp for 5 days. As I was telling all of you in the earlier session part, also in the phase one part, also all the live courses that we are talking of are going to be weekend courses that are going to be taking place in the evening, somewhere between 6 to 8 p.m. The reason why we have it in the evening and on weekend is to see that every one of you will be able to attend these courses comfortably without having any clash with your regular college or working hours. Then, in addition to the front end part, back end part, and the front end part, we will also have one more boot camp, which is going to be a live boot camp on emerging technologies. This is going to be this is not going to be going to have a fixed structure like DSA through Java, or using React with Bootstrap, or Java programming, or business communication, or technical skills. This is going to be variable depending on the industry requirements, depending on what is going to be there, what are the in-demand technical skills in the industry today. We invite various industry speakers to come and address the students on different technologies. So the live bootcamp session is emerging technology session is going to be introduction to different technologies, and we tend to introduce different technologies here. So this is going to be phase one and phase two. Now coming to phase three. Before talking about phase three, I will take a quick recap of phase one and phase two. What did we do? We will only talk about what is called as the technical aspects of phase one and phase two. In phase one, we learned what is called as developing we will be going through a course called as developing programming logic, in which we will be trying to understand how to develop effective code and then quickly jump to Java programming. We have a backend skill ready. In the second phase, we will be using React with Bootstrap. By doing that, we will have a front-end component ready. Now, the entire objective is to introduce the student to what is called as actual employability skills, and actual employability skills will only be possible when we do what is called as a project or an internship. Now, the last phase that we are talking of is going to be a phase in which we will be doing a project as an internship. This is going to be a specific methodology of internship. We are not only going to address the aspects of technical programming, we will also be addressing the aspect of time management, working under pressure, taking responsibility, working on a team, etc., etc. These are the various industry skills that people expect students to have. Now, what is this hackathon style? What was that? Yeah, hackathon style internship. This is going to be a 6-week internship given by the industry. You will get an industry certificate in order when you complete this 6-week internship. And in this 6-week internship, what will we do? We'll take one project with Java as the front end and Java as the back end and React as the front end. and we will design a problem statement, break that problem statement into 5 parts. We will form project groups, virtual project groups. Please understand one thing: the importance of having a virtual project group is in being responsible to a group which you never meet, right? So we create groups, we have a problem statement, we break that problem statement into 5 parts, and every week you people will be given one single problem sub part or a part of the problem statement, and you will be given 1 week to solve that. So in the 6 weeks that we are talking of, the first 5 weeks we will have a problem statement divided into 5 parts, and you will be given 1 week to write code for that problem statement. Skills which will become important here. The first skill is you will be working against time. You have exactly 5 to 6 days to finish that piece of code as a group. Point number 1. Point number 2, you will learn time management. And point number 3, obviously the most important part of it, is you will learn how to code effectively. At the end of the week, there will be a session. It is going to be a hybrid session. At the end of the first week, there will be a session where your project, where an industry representative will basically come, look at your code, assess your code, give you advice on what are the mistakes that you have done or how rightly or wrongly you have done the course. Similarly, the same thing will happen for week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. So you will have a entire problem statement divided into 5 parts, and each part you will be doing in 1 week. At the end of the 5th week, you will have all 5 parts of the problem statement brought together. You will have 5 parts of the problem statement. In the 6th week, you will be asked to bring all those 5 parts of the problem statement together and complete your project. Your assessment is based on every single week's report. And in the 6th week, we will basically ask you people to do a very simple thing. We will ask you to present your entire project online to a set of panel members from the industry. They will be giving you their feedback. You will be communicating with the industry people, so that tomorrow morning, whenever somebody asks you what was the project that you have done, you'll be in a very comfortable position to explain it properly. What are the key features of this hackathon style internship? One is intensive time-bound projects. As I told you, it is going to be technical as well as non-technical. The non-technical skill that we are trying to assess here is taking responsibility. Second thing is working on time-bound projects, that is time management. And third, since every week you will be presenting the work that you have done, and finally at the end of the 6th week you will be presenting your entire project, you will also develop what is called as communication skills or business communication. And the foundation for all this is laid right from phase 1. Please understand one thing: if you look at phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, all these are following a very sequential order, trying to address the exact gaps that are there in your learning. Second one that second key feature that we'll be trying to address is team collaboration. This is going to be completely virtual. You will not meet the team, but you will be working in a team, which encourages teamwork and peer learning. The third thing that we are looking at is, since it's an entirely technical project, we'll be looking at what is called as problem solving skills. How do you understand the entire aspect of the project, and how do you address these problems individually? And finally, since these are completely guided, as I was telling you all people, that this internship of 6 weeks is going to be guided by panel of experts from the industry. They will be mentoring you, trying to help you how to do the project, how to do your internship. And the end of the 6th week, they will grade you on your performance, and on the basis of your grading, you will end up getting a certificate. This is about the entire MySkillForge program. MySkillForge program is going to be a 3-phase program. If you observe this carefully, phase 1, phase 1 has 5 courses, and upon completion of each of these courses, you will get a certificate. This certificate will be given by LearnSquare Technologies Private Limited and is going to be endorsed by the HR Association of India. What is HR Association of India, sir? HR Association of India is an organization which has got around 80,000 HR professionals on its rolls. It is like IEEE for HR. So this organization is going to endorse your certificate. Each of these certificates, please understand one thing: it is not one certificate, it is 11 certifications. 5 certifications in the first phase, 5 certifications in the second phase, and finally, once you finish the project, you will have last certification. So 5 plus 5 plus 1 is 11 certifications endorsed by the HR Association of India. This certificates will be highly valuable for you whenever you apply for jobs, because obviously whenever you are talking of HR Association of India, obviously majority of the HR people who are going to take your interviews, they are going to be they are going to be members of this organization. They know that when the HR Association of India has given a certification, it means that these people have done something, these people have learned something. That will be an added advantage for you whenever you are going to go for a job interview. Now, this is all about MySkillForge.